Holy God, we thank you here as we meet midweek to continue to study in your word, to review and test our minds, to prepare us more and more each day to be able to teach others this message. We need to know it so well, Lord. We need to know it so that we know how to help others. We pray that as we continue to grow in understanding, that you would help us to be without compromise. Understanding the test for our time is equality, and that's the test that we must pass. And it must be without compromise. We must practice equality, understand it inside and out, and practice equality. And be the examples to those that you bring us into contact with. We ask you as we do this review that you would be with us, that your Holy Spirit would guide and direct us as we just try to start populating the line with the things that we understand to lead us to the points that we need tonight that will be a blessing to us. We thank you and praise you, and we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so we'll do kind of like we did last week and start from scratch. And I don't know what direction. I'm going to have a couple of ideas. There was a couple of things that I wanted to, you and I talked, what was I going to share with you tonight, Christine, on, I know what I want. I know one of the things I wanted. And if I forget what I need to with you, but help me remember, I wanted to do research and I was trying, but I am pretty sure that when Elder Parminder talked about the cataphatic and the apophatic, that that's what's linked to, I wanted to just verify it, I'm pretty sure I'm right, but that's what's linked to, with apophatic was prior to the midnight cry, if I remember right, and then the cataphatic where you're going to have understanding, but it had to do with what you see is not all that's there, correct? Those are the two words I'm thinking of.
I'm not sure, Kathy.
I believe so.
Okay.
Those were connected.
Yeah, what okay. I wasn't sure if I had the right one because he's done different words that are beyond my vocabulary, and I was thinking that that was it, and I was trying to research it, and when I did some, just Google looking, I didn't quite find that, but what it said did kind of seem that would probably be it. But I wanted to get back to one of his videos, but I didn't. So, but either way, my point, what I wanted to make is the point of parable teaching and the point of understanding parables, understanding that what you see, whoops, you sit down, what you see in a verse, what we see in a story, what we see in a passage is not all there is. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because if everybody remembers, Elder Parminder at one point said that he speaks in parables, okay? So
he isn't Elder Parminder?
Yeah, Elder Parminder, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And they do, they use parables, they're talking in parables. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if a parable is what unlocks what's there hidden beneath the surface, that there's more there than what you see, and they're speaking in parables, what does that mean when they talk to us, when they're teaching us?
They're teaching in parables.
The what?
But they're teaching in parables.
Yeah, but what does that mean then, based on what I just said?
Parables are the mind of Christ. So they're speaking to us through Christ.
I think also, and
Let
there's
this
more.
mind be in you. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Because you sound right.
Go ahead, Christine, I think she's done.
Also that there's more that they're saying that they're not speaking.
That's what I was looking for. That what you see or
like
what
the treasures, yeah,
is not all there is. And I just think about that, and I was hoping between when I mentioned it and now I'd remember what I was supposed to talk about tonight, that you asked me about.
Oh, well, for me, it was, okay, so for instance, my topic the 2014
okay, got
topic. Okay, you remember. Okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
got it. So going back to our reviews that we want to do on the events of 2014 and searching for our documents, the questions come up a few times. Well, what about if we can't find those documents and that information in the media broadcast? So it's my understanding that a good part of that was in the media broadcast, but if you can't, it doesn't mean you can't go. And I know I might have said it this way, but I'm not like, if you don't find what you need in the media broadcast, go to the outside sources, but then remember what Elder Tess has said. You know, when we came out of conservatism, she made the point that coming out of conservatism was easy. And then when you look at, that was one stream and that was the wrong stream. Now we're taking from the right stream, and the right stream is not safe, okay? And that we have to be careful in our sources is what she says. So that's kind of why I wanted to link that little bit about what you know, what we see is not all that's there, and we want to use that while we're listening to them speak. And then we also want to be able to have the discernment ourselves when we're looking for sources and also reading documents, because, you know, she's made the point that she doesn't put everything in the media broadcast, and that she doesn't necessarily share all of the things that she reads. And I, for one, time-wise, find it a blessing that she pulls out the relevant points. And even in the media broadcast, where she prefaces what's there, the points that she wants us to get, she prefaces before, you know, she puts in the documents, and to help us to not get bogged down with the noise. So I kind of wanted to try to link that somewhat all together, and I hope that was helpful.
It was helpful for me. Did you see on the WhatsApp that somebody posted that video on lateral reading on the web? Did you watch that?
The video on what?
Lateral, at LATER, it's in the chat, lateral reading. And it talks about, instead of reading a website vertically and, you know, just assuming that everything on it is correct, you lateral read by researching and making sure that the website that you're investigating is actually credible. So I put the link to it. Somebody posted it. I can't remember if it was Penny or one of the regulars posted it in the WhatsApp, and it was a really good video. And then there was also one that I found, lateral reading crash course, which is also really good.
Yeah, and also the media bias charts.
Yes.
To help us
Yes.
as well. So she especially said when it came to radical feminism in our research that we really had to be careful. I believe, I'm thinking for my own self, I'm slow of comprehension, you know, that we might mistake something, you know, the wrong stream of radical feminism, and not even it. I mean, I know that things can go over my head. So we do have to be careful in our sources. So yes, if you can't find what you need in the media broadcast on those topics, then go to other sources, but check your sources as you do.
It's really helpful to open a bunch of tabs, to have different sources if you're looking at something, and then cross-check it by the other ones you open up in the different tabs. I've done that for quite a while, and it's very helpful.
Yeah. So there's a lot that we definitely need to understand, and we need to settle down here pretty soon. But hopefully that helps as we go forward. And I sadly haven't started those yet because I'm in a crash course of getting. I have my next week's one ready, but I have 2 back-to-back right. Actually, I think I have 3 back-to-back right after that. And so I'm kind of putting those first. And if I can squeeze one of those articles in, I'm going to. So But for now, right now, I'm really focused on having to get the presentations out that I'm going to do. Okay, so anybody comments or questions on that? No.
Does everybody know where to find that media bias chart?
If anybody knows how to Google, you can just Google media bias chart and it'll come up. I did. And unless anybody saved a media bias chart and wants to email it, and I can email it out. We may have emailed it out at some point in time too. I had trouble.
Were they updated? No,
Huh?
so it's frequently being updated.
Yeah,
So I'll send out the link.
yeah. Whatever I saw was probably recent because I just looked at it recently. And I was trying to find I think I was trying to find the Washington Journal on it to be safe, but I think Larry answered I think it was Larry that.
Oh, that's so funny you said that. Because I was just reading an article from that, and you get like a free article or 2 free articles, and they want you to subscribe to read any more. And then I said, oh, I wonder what their bias is. And it's really right, very right center. So I knew, uh-oh. Even though the particular one I was reading was pretty good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and so when I looked it up and I read about it and it said it was right center, it said, however, a lot of their articles are pretty across the board, but it's the opinion pieces that are extremely right center.
Yeah. And I think it was Larry that I asked because I couldn't read it on the media bias chart when I was trying to read it. I couldn't make it enlarged. They wanted me to pay for something, I think, to get it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I know somebody has it. So,
Yeah.
so,
Yep.
but that's what he had said, right center as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
with our sources. Okay, so let's start filling our board. Where are we going to start today? We know we want to start by filling in the main waymarks. You got to move. You got to move. There you go. Okay, we'll start filling in our waymarks. We'll do the 144,000 line. So, okay, start shouting out here. The things we all know easy.
Okay, so that's the big line, right?
Yeah, big line, 144.
And then everybody knows how to pen it. You can see
Oh,
it.
yeah. Oh, hold on, I'll spotlight it. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. The wrestling match moved us out of place.
Okay,
Okay.
so big line 1989,
Okay.
9/11. Down at the end, Sunday law. Close of completion. Second advent.
Okay. Now give me this.
What is that? Well, whose line is that?
Huh?
What line is that?
144.
No, so the second one.
Oh, priest.
Okay,
Even though we're not
So-
on that line anymore, but we're going to do some review.
okay. 1989. 9/11.
Quiet.
2014. 2019. 2021.
Okay. Something that we did some of last week, but we didn't go all the way. So on this line, let's fill in these again, because I don't think we went here and here. So let's fill in these. Our date,
91.
91, and what is this?
Increase of information or knowledge. I'm sorry. Increase of knowledge.
Okay. And next,
96,
and what else is it?
Formalization of the message.
Okay. Okay, so what was the increase of knowledge?
Line upon line.
Line upon line. And the formalization?
Daniel 11, 40, 45.
Okay, and this was what? This period,
Plowing.
Plowing.
allowing, okay. I was wondering, because some spell it UGH, is it UGH or OW?
I think it's both.
Depends.
ways.
Yeah, it's in the UK and Australia. I think it's OU.
Oh, okay,
GH.
that's why I see it both ways, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, what's our date?
2009.
Okay. And it's the increase of knowledge. And our date,
2012.
and we know that's formalization. And okay, what was the increase of knowledge on?
2520.
Okay. And what?
Time.
shooting.
What did the 2520 teach us?
26.
What?
Did somebody, that's heard two people, what was the other?
I didn't hear what you said. I was asking you to repeat what you just said.
Oh,
Scattering.
what? Say that again, somebody said the answer.
Scattering.
The scattering. The 2520 taught us the scatterings and gatherings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how did the 2520, what does line upon line represent overall?
History repeat.
History repeats, yeah. What else? What else does it? Yeah, it is history repeats. I was thinking bigger, and I might have the wrong thing in my head for it, but what's all packaged here?
Parables.
Parables, which is what?
Methodology.
Methodology. And I'll put parables into here. Okay, so parable methodology is here. You get to here and you get to 2520. So the 2520 teaches the scatterings and the gatherings. That eventually led to what?
26.
The 126 and what else?
151.
151. That gave us, that led us to here, which is, what is this waymark?
Sunday law.
Sunday law. Midway, right?
Yes.
So when Elder Parmenter understands and makes a prediction of time, how much time passed before we understood what was here? Because nothing happened, right? I mean, if you're back in this history, you're living in it. Did anything happen? Did a Sunday law happen?
Well, they didn't see it. They didn't see all that was happening.
So he didn't see it. So how did Elder Tess describe what?
But to accept the date of 2014.
Yeah, to accept the date. To accept the date. And then what did she say was given here? How did she describe that?
The contents.
But this is unsealing. The 20.
Now think about this, accept the date, the presentation there where she showed that. So we have to accept the date. And then what did God give us at 2014? How did she describe it?
A box.
Box.
Is that what you mean?
Yep. One thing I think I can draw. A box marked Sunday law. Right? So, but my question was, is your Elder Parmenter, or you're in the movement back here, and he predicts a Sunday law at 2014. How long did they actually have to wait before they knew what this meant?
6 years.
Yeah,
Was it
somewhere in
6 years?
somewhere in there, yeah. I mean, pretty much close to into here before you started to understand it and started to really unpack. So for us anyways. So, and yeah, probably still for them, but okay, so now you got 2014, suspended law, you get a box, but you don't know what's in it. So what is this waymark? Date, it's an increase of knowledge. We know that from these two. But the date,
2016.
2016, the increase of knowledge. And what was the increase of knowledge on?
King of the North and King of the South.
Right. And since we, just to back up real quick, line upon line, the increase of knowledge, which leads to the formalization of the message. So this is here, but formalized and understood here, right? So what happens at 9/11?
Testing.
Test,
Test.
right? So there's a test. So you go through the plowing, you get the increase of knowledge because the church back here is in darkness, right? They're in darkness, and God has to break up the fallow ground and root out all that garbage that's in the church, open up the methodology, and it leads to the formalization of Daniel 11:40 to 45. And then you're tested on it. What else happens at 9/11?
The angels?
Yeah, that too. There's something else I'm looking for there. But yes, because you have the first angel, and you have the second angel. Write that. So what was I asking? Yeah, so what happens at 9/11 on the line?
Baptism.
There you go. That's what I wanted. So it's baptism. Okay. Remember, this is the time of the end. And let me hang on one second. Oops. Okay, if you help me with that, Christine, whenever need be. I just made you co-host. Okay, so we've got baptism at 9/11. You had time of the end, 1989, baptism at 9/11, but first angel at 1989, second angel at 9/11. But when did they say the third angel arrived? We went through that, I think, last week.
Wasn't it 9/11?
Yeah, they arrived together. Right? I know that's what I've heard said.
9/11 also first angel's message in power.
First angel's message empowered, yes. Here, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So I know that I'm weak on this area. I understand it, but weak on remembering details of it. I get a lot of it, but I also know that it's a harbinger because these two waymarks were not in the spirit of prophecy. Everybody remembers that? These two waymarks are not in the spirit of prophecy. What was this waymark? If we're looking at this line from the Great Controversy, what was this?
1798, right?
Well, I want to make sure I get it. I don't get them backwards. So somebody help me out with this. The Great Controversy or the Millerite line? I think the Millerite line, I think is what I want. So 1798, right?
Yes.
The Millerite line. I'm pretty sure it's the one that I want. So what would the Millerite line be?
1840.
Huh?
1840.
1840.
August 11.
Yeah. And I should probably put those ones in red. All right, 1840. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if is it confusing to do kind of back and forth, or are we doing okay? Good,
Okay.
okay, because the point that I wanted to make is we went through that. This plowing time brings in the methodology, parable teaching, line upon line, and even time back here, because 1989, looking back, was connected to the to this as well. So you have the increase of knowledge in 1991 that leads to line upon line leads to formalization 1996, which brings you to a test. Okay, so then you have the 2520, and we already touched on that. That's 2009, the increase of knowledge, and it brings you the scattering and the gathering, and then it takes you to the formalization of the message, because the 2520 was to point to this, right? So it's all here, and it's to point to this, lead us to this, and you get there using the 126 and the 151, which was from Ezekiel. Maybe somebody remembers the Daniel 5, Daniel 5, right?
No, 5.
And also Ezekiel 40, is it 46? Do you remember? So that opened up the 126 and the 151, which leads you here to, so what's your test here? Because if this is a test, you get an increase of knowledge, formalization. Now you're going to be tested. What's your test? What are you tested on?
Ezekiel 20.
This was 20?
Yeah, 20, 34.
Are you sure it's 20? I think.
Yes.
Which verse?
20, 34.
28, 34?
Yeah.
I remember being like 45 or 46. Read
Okay,
the verse. Read the verse.
Talking about the hand, right?
Huh?
Is a hand?
I'm looking for, no, I'm looking for the one that says the value of the many, I think it is.
45.
I did it today. We did a 9/11 today.
You did 9/11. You could be very helpful to us today then.
Yeah, 20, 34.
The 4512 is the one with the shekels.
Shekels, that's, okay, shekels, not minis. Okay, that's what I was looking for. We'll have to read the one that she's, well, in Ezekiel 20, verse what?
37? Is it 37, Ezekiel 37?
No, that's a different, that's different, but it's not the one that I'm looking for that does this. I mean, that's irrelevant, but not for the one that I'm looking for here. What was your verse, Rebecca, in chapter 20?
20, 34.
34?
Yeah.
Let me see what it out. I will bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein you're scattered and gathered. So it's talking about the gathering. Yeah. With a stretched out arm and theory poured out. Yeah, talking about scattering and gathering. I was actually specifically looking for the one that breaks down the 151. Anybody remember how you get the 126 and the 151?
126 is the tithe, right? 10% of 1260.
And I've got in Leviticus 27:25, it mentions the shekel was equal to 20 gerahs. Is that comes up to 126 then?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I do this right because it's been a long time since I've done these. That was 25. It's not. It's been a long time since I've done these, so I got it wrong. So if anybody has it in their record banks handy, call it out because one of them equals 126. 60. Oh, I got it. It's 50, 50, 1 and 25. 126.
Okay, so then the Leviticus one, I think, makes it. So where in Leviticus, it's the shekel was equal to 20 gerahs. And 126. I've got all the numbers, but it's not adding up.
It's this one, 120, 151.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Daniel here, and this is Ezekiel. Okay. So everybody follow that? And this is from Daniel, many tickle you parson, where he's talking about that. Okay. So I know there's a whole lot more to understand on that I still need as well. Okay, so we're at 2016. We've got the increase of knowledge, the king of the north and the king of the south. And that's what's the formalization?
Equality.
Equality. And the date?
2018.
What else do we call that?
Formalization.
Formalization, and one other thing that we call it.
Midnight cry.
Midnight cry. Midnight cry. Okay. Okay. So if you're 2014, you get this box, it's marked Sunday law, but you don't open the box, you don't know what's in it. You get to 2016, you get the increase of knowledge. What was this? Where now? So this is some of you guys were around and some of you weren't, because remember what we learned about this was not correct. What did we learn? Anybody remember? What did we learn about the king of the south that we didn't know?
Oh,
He was.
that it was Russia, specifically the up to the head, that part up to the neck. Is that what you mean?
Well, remember
When we didn't understand.
remember that you had
Go ahead.
you had 89 to 91, which was the deadly wound and the death, right, of the king of the south. So the king of the south is dead. What did we learn here?
Resurrected.
It's still alive.
It's still alive. I think the resurrection is here. I think we remember we saw that last week. The resurrection is here. So we see that the king of the south is still alive and did not know that. And it was back in 1999 when Putin comes into power. But the resurrection of the king of the south, I'm trying to remember how to place that there. Well, you had this period of time here where you had the battle between the king of the north and the king of the south over spheres of influence, and Putin won this and had a bunch of spheres of influence, and that's on the charts on the website that has all those. So what we saw here was that the king of the south was not dead. But what did we have wrong? We saw that the king of the south was not dead. What did we have wrong? When that understanding first opened up.
It's different.
Was that when we still thought that it was atheism?
Yeah, I'm looking for something specific that that we had wrong about the king of the south and what this all meant, what the war between the king of the south and the king of the north meant.
Do you mean the hot war versus cold war?
Right. So we were still blind and expecting a hot war, right? Okay, so somebody walk us through if you can. I think I could do it, but walk us through, how do you get from the king of the north and the king of the south to equality?
King of the North is church of the state.
Got to back up at the beginning. We're going to walk it.
Wasn't it geography?
Geography.
Geography first?
Geography, yep. I don't know if I'm going to do this right.
It's a little high. You can't see.
Yeah, I just remembered that as I was writing it. Okay.
Right about to your chin.
You can see
Right there. Yeah. Perfect.
So you got to, the King of the North and King of the South brings you to geography. Okay, what's the next step?
Polar opposites.
Polar opposites. And what's the next step?
Marriage.
Marriage?
We connected that polar opposite with marriage.
Yeah, maybe we did. I don't remember. Anybody else confer what she's saying? Because I'm drawing a blank.
Church over state.
What was that?
Church over state.
Church over state.
Yeah, the marriage.
That's what-
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. I don't I mean, maybe
Thank you.
I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, church over state. So you have here that's church over state, and what is this one?
State over church.
State over church.
So yeah, it was marriage. I know marriage is in there. You're right about that. I'm just trying to picture it in my own mind and keep it straight. Okay, so you've got church over state with the King of the North and state over church with the King of the South, which then brought you to equality.
Marriage, which marriage brought us to equality. Yeah.
Okay. So did I miss a step or do we have it all? Anybody? Equals equality, right? Is that correct? I'll have to review my notes tonight too, to make sure.
It looks correct, but I'm gonna go find my notes.
Okay.
Elaine, where was Acts 27?
Because we saw any,
Go ahead, Luke.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Where was Acts 27 in there? Because I know that unlocked the King of the South, and then that's we got to equality there. Where do we fit that in?
You want to walk us through it? It's an open mic for all of us.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of experience.
Well,
Up in here, right?
yeah. So Acts 27 got us to 273 BC, didn't it? Which got us to Pyrrhus, which then got us to the King of the South.
That's like another route there though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're
Okay.
right.
Well, maybe we'll work on that as well when we get through the initial part of it, because I know we need to have that review as well.
We are missing something though. Between the marriage of church over state and equality is 2 streams,
Two streams is on there too?
according to my notes. Yeah.
Because I know we get the 2 streams here.
That's
I
what my notes say.
remember that we saw inequality in the King of the North and the King of the South, which we saw inequality first, which led to equality. But I don't know if you would consider that a step.
Well, because they were unequal. I probably got it spelled wrong. And then it leads to equality. You get to equality here. So, but I want to look that part up unless you want to do a share screen real quick with what you got. I know that I did the ones that are in Portugal. I did. We worked on those ones recently. And I'm trying to picture 2 streams being there. Anybody else remember? Unless you want to do a share screen real quick. Do I have to unspotlight?
I don't think so. Let me try it. It's in one of the presentations that I did. Sure. Can everybody see the Portugal March 2020 repeating patterns? So I've got this where it's, can you guys see it? It goes from world wars to King of the North versus King of the South, geography, and then the opposite, the same mirror image. So that's the polar opposites. And then church state relationship, so the marriage, and then the two streams, and then equality.
Okay. So we need to move that. Church state, which we have, church state, polar opposites. It'd be better if I could go that way, but then you guys won't see what I want to do. Okay, church state, and then we go to two streams. Okay,
Yeah, that's right too. And the from 2014 to 2019, World War III took us directly to the study of equality.
okay, so we have World War, the World Wars, two, King of the North versus the King.
Yep.
Takes us to geography. It took us to the mirror image, this mirror image. Okay. And then to the two streams, and then to equality. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So that must be though, yeah, because it is still taking you from here to here to get to that, right? So this gets you to here and the two streams. So that's kind of the same thing then, right?
I'm not sure. Point again.
Okay, so we're looking at 2016, which opened up the, well, she had world wars on there first, led you to King of the North and the King of the South. So we understood what our basic understanding was the King of the South wasn't dead. But it was then the world wars takes you to understand the world wars takes you to understand the King of the North and King of the South to get the right understanding. The North and the South takes you to geography. Geography takes you to the polar opposites or the mirror image, the church over state and the state over church, takes you to the two streams and takes you to where you land here at equality. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
That's the way I remember her talking about it.
Okay.
What about Luke? Luke, is that the way you remember it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because this is where equality is and this is where the two streams was taught. Is that right, Luke? Did we say that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. It's probably just more than one thread we're tracing to get to the same point, I suppose.
When the things that you're talking about, Acts, would be what came before the World Wars. So we're kind of starting at World Wars, but what you're saying, the Acts 27 came led to the World Wars. So
Yeah,
it was like a step before that.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay. So Acts 27 took you to 273 to the King of the South, correct?
Pyrrhus,
Pyrrhus.
yeah,
To the King of the South to world wars.
correct.
I said that right? Okay.
Did I miss, or any of those miss?
Did we say that right, Luke?
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. So we have Acts 27
Yeah.
takes you to
276.
273
right?
to
Mhm.
Pyrrhus.
Yep.
Oh, it's been a long time since I spelled his name.
It's got a H somewhere.
It's got an H somewhere and it's got two R's. I would always try to get that messed up.
We know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, to Pyrrhus, to the King of the South,
Yeah,
wars. Correct?
that's how I understand it. Yeah, if I remember all the steps right.
Okay, I know for sure, you know, this and takes us to King of the South. Okay, so then the only thing that I'm not having my memory banks is this part, but that's where you wind up here is with the King of the South. So I didn't know if it was a different path. I don't remember it not being a different path, but it sounds, if that's all in your memory banks, that Acts 27, I do know, takes you to 273, takes you to Pyrrhus, takes you to the King of the South, and then, okay, then the World Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks, I think it's just the steps before the World Wars,
Right,
because Act 27 really opened up the whole
the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we have two streams. So if now we're gonna get messy here because we put our plowing here, what do we have here? We have our plowing.
Early rain.
Early rain,
Early rain. And so then what is this?
latter rain.
Latter rain. Okay. And so then what happens at 2019 then, based on what we're looking at here? What's 2019? It's a lot of things, but based on what we lined up here.
Test.
The resurrection of Pyrrhus
No, don't go.
or Putin.
It's a test. So you have a November 9 here. You have a November 9 here. Okay. And then you know that that's 9/11/2001. Okay, so, and this represented what? You have time at the end.
The close of probation.
Thank you. Yeah, close probation. Okay, close of probation. So now let's go into this one here. The most recent that we just came out of. The increase of knowledge date.
(2020).
Elaine, I'm sorry. I accidentally muted you when I was trying to unmute myself. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Being
Yeah.
co-hosted, let you do things you're not supposed to do. Sorry.
Yeah, we used to always tell Chris, don't push the big red button.
Right. Right.
Like Dennis the Menace, he had to touch everything. Okay, so so here you have the increase of knowledge. Phil must have been able to read my mind. So you have the increase of knowledge. What's the date? Oh, he did say 2020. Be more
Yeah, 2020,
more
May.
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 May, yeah. The death decree.
George Foreman or
Yeah,
George.
yeah, death. I had to think it through myself when you got George Floyd
Yeah, George Floyd, and then four
and
others.
the rest of them.
RBG, Helen Reddy,
Okay,
Bozeman,
and John Lewis.
John Lewis.
John Lewis. Okay, so increase of knowledge, death of George Floyd, and the death of the four. Two of them represented racism. Two of them represented what?
Sexism,
Sexism.
RBG and Helen Reddy.
Yeah. It's one other thing I was trying to think to remember there, but I can't remember what it was. Had to do with her dissent.
Hobby Lobby.
Step on the neck.
Yeah, but there was two different things there. There was her and then one other one that was pointed out, and I can't remember what the other thing was. So you got the two for there were racism, two that were sexism. I know there's something else there. Okay, so then you go to here. We know that it'll be the formalization, right? Date.
August 2021.
And what's there?
Feminism, or formalization of the Sunday law, which is feminism.
That would be up here. Formalization of the Sunday law.
LGBTQ
Yeah. there you go.
or LGBT.
Yeah, because we're gonna have 2019. We might erase this here in a minute. And we're gonna have 2021. And this you would have feminism, I believe. I think that's right. They got feminism.
I have a. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
I have a question on the LGBT. Is there a reason why it's just LGBT and not the QIA plus? Is it because transgender? is so important. Do you know what I
I don't
mean?
know if I have the answer. I know that when you get into here, this is where Ted Wilson gives his sermon and he specifies LGBTQIA+. So I'm not sure why that's what's put there.
Yeah.
I actually,
Okay. I wondered if it was for a reason.
I think Elder Parmenter talked, I think both of them talked about it. There is maybe a reason, but I can't remember it, but it had to, I think it had to do with just breaking down the gender, and he separated out transgender, I believe, and went through LGBT and then trans separate, having to do with the biological sex and the gender orientation, and then put trans in a separate category, but I don't remember the specifics on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the best I could do. If anybody else has anything more, go ahead and speak up, because group review for all of us. Okay.
I can't remember the specifics on it either, but I do know that even the transgender are shunned by LGBT
Yes,
LGBT people. Yeah.
I think that in the media at that time, that's what they were called, and then they added later.
okay. So based on what we've done here, what does that make 2021?
Test.
Yes. So all along the way, you get some information, you're tested on it. You pass the test, what happens? You keep going, right?
Right.
And you get some more information. And you come to the next waymark, you're tested on it. Are we going to accept the date? And that's what the line there was. So this here, if we were to stretch this out, you know, what did she say we had to do in this history?
Accept the content.
Accept the content. Okay, accept the content. Okay, where from here now? We have, you guys, I'll make them bigger now that I moved all that. So we know that this is 2019. And this is 2021. And we'll just write up top then. So what is 2019?
Increase of knowledge
On what?
on equality, feminism.
No.
The Sunday law.
Yeah.
Would it be the Sunday law?
Yeah. So then what's this?
Formalization of the Sunday law.
Right. Okay. So who wants to let's try to, we've done what we're going to do here, at least for now, unless anybody else has anything else they want to do there. So let's look at up here and start tracing the history. Who wants to take one of these waymarks and start? Let's add in what happened at the waymarks, what we can remember, what they represent. I guess I think what they represent. So we already have that the first angel arrives. It's time of the end. We have 9/11 as the first angel is empowered. Second angel, second and third angel arrive. And it's also baptism. So if we were to look at, I don't want to confuse myself like I did last week. You're not going to be able to see if I write up there, are you?
No.
No. We can't see above 1A or 2A.
Okay. Let me see if I don't think it went, I did go a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so based on the agricultural model, let's fill that in. That's what I want. But next is the agricultural model. What's first?
That's the plowing,
From
89. 89, well, 89 to 9/11,
right.
plowing.
Okay.
And
And
then 9/11 to Sunday law is the early rain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta give it to those that have skill at doing this, because I sure don't. Okay, early rain, and then what do we have next?
Sunday law, the close of probation is the latter rain.
And this
Harvest.
harvest. Okay. Okay, I need help because I don't know where to go from here. Who wants to, let's see if we can call on Rebecca. Help us out with what you learned about 9/11 today. Is she still there?
Sorry, I'm eating something.
Okay, you want to, or you want me to just call somebody else? Anybody else? I guess she's just gonna wait. Oh, did she drop off? Oh, no, you're still there, Rebecca.
Is it-
Somebody else want to help us with some details on 9/11?
What kind of details?
Hmm?
What do you mean by details?
I just wanted to start filling in what we know and how we got there.
It's a harbinger,
I know it's a harbinger. Okay, it's Islam.
right?
Harbinger of what?
Of what's gonna happen is it at the Sunday law? I'm not sure.
I think it's closed probation.
Close of probation, okay. So harbinger for close of probation?
Okay.
Is this
Could we say triple? Sorry, go ahead, Christine.
is the third war? 9/11?
Third woe?
Yeah, beginning the third war?
Third woe? Is that what you said? Yep, third woe.
Susan?
That's what I was going to say. That gave us the triple application, right?
What are some of the other?
First roll plus the second roll. Isn't that where we got that from?
Yeah, are you gonna be able to see if I read it here? No, you're not gonna be able to see it here. What are some of the other triple applications that we have? So we have first woe plus second woe equals third. What's another triple application we have?
World
The
Wars.
Sunday law.
Realize.
The World Wars.
I don't know if Luke said one different than you guys did, but I know I got two.
What's
So,
the
Sunday law. One,
Three Elijahs.
somebody say that again.
first Babylon, second Babylon,
What?
first Babylon, Babel Tower,
The Tower of Babel?
yeah, Tower Babel, and second Babylon.
She's,
Three
she
Babylon?
said, somebody said that, and then that other lady said, let's start going on the Babylon thing.
Yeah, Babylon, and Israel.
are you guys saying first one Babylon, Babylon 2, Babylon 3? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Is that right, you guys?
I don't know. Aaron said we studied 9/11 and second and third war, and he said that.
So, because I know you do have, I have to think that through. We'll put it down if that's what he said. There's
Yeah.
first Babylon, second Babylon equals third Babylon. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Was the we did the last class.
okay. Anybody else?
Three Elijahs, the three Elijahs.
Okay,
He said first Israel, the Jacob, and second Israel, and equal the
is that right?
yes.
Okay,
9/11 parallel to 27 AD.
yeah, 27 AD.
Mhm.
Yeah. If we start putting that in there, then we need to put this one, which is what?
4 BC.
4.
4 BC. What else? This one marks something else.
Oh, 9/11 also covenant. God make a covenant with his people.
Okay. Good, thank you. Oh, it slipped my mind already on 2014.
And SDA leadership passed by.
Passed by. 2014. I don't know if I'm mixing too much in here, but just trying to test our memories. 2014 on the line of Christ was what?
The cross.
No,
34. 34 AD.
no, this wasn't 34 AD.
The line of Christ.
Because you got 27 here, right? On the line of Christ, what came on 2014?
Cross?
Huh?
Cross?
No, not the cross. Anybody remember where the cross is?
Oh,
Is the cross
2019. Is that the first temple cleansing?
No, it's 2019. She's right.
2019. What did Luke say?
Yeah, temple cleansing 2014 or imprisonment of John, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah, temple cleansing.
I think it's probably marked at the same point, I guess.
That could be. I know it's a temple cleansing. First temple cleansing. And then you have the cross. Okay. Again, I'm out of where to go from here. Anybody else?
So when is the second angel's message empowered?
Where at? Did you say?
Where? I'm confused.
Second angel's message is empowered where? Those ones I'm not good at. I should be. Anybody? Okay, so have we exhausted what we're doing here? Go for something different? Phil, are you prepared to share what you sent me today?
I am.
Okay.
Did you read my remarks?
Oh yeah, I did read that and I didn't read it yet. I think that
I could. The
Yeah.
and the Uyghur and the incel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know that it would be, I don't know that it would be bad because I mean, when we hear how bad things are, it's actually helpful to us, but
yeah, that's
I'll leave it to
like,
you.
like I said in the email, I put as much as I thought would. I mean, it broke my heart, and there's more,
Yeah,
but that was enough.
okay, then let's, if you guys are okay, unless anybody wants to continue on here, I'm kind of exhausted to what I can put in right now. And I'll probably have to erase it all and we'll do another work on something different. Well, maybe we'll work on the line of Christ another time. And are you guys okay to work on, Phil has one of his studies for some of the events at 2014?
Yes.
Okay,
But Phil, let's just do one of them and have a conversation and see how far we get.
Okay, well, we can do the.
Elaine, can I add something?
sure.
Sure.
Yeah, the second angel was empowered at the triumphal entry. That's what I remember.
Second angel's empowered at the triumphal entry.
Yeah.
So,
Help us place the triumphal entry because you're drawing a blank, because you got the first temple cleansing, the triumphal entry was before, right? Yeah, my memory's not got them all.
I'm not sure, but that's what I remember in my notes.
Yeah, I think I do remember, but it's not, it's got to be. It's before the first temple cleansing, right? I have to sit and think it through. So if anybody remembers off the top of their head the triumphal entry, because I have that always in my head as the midnight cry, and I don't know if that's right.
I got a chart here. It says 2018.
Midnight cry. Okay, yeah, that's
The
what I was.
triumphal entry. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
On the
Okay,
line of the Nethinims.
okay. Okay, so I'll unpin this. And then do you need somebody to share it for you, or you're able to share?
Oh, me?
No, Phil.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for the input.
Mhm.
Good to see you here too. Plus it's late for you, right? Late,
Yes.
late for a few of you guys.
Yeah, I came in late. I was busy with this kid. I was
Oh,
keeping
you're
him.
like 2 hours. I think you're 2 hours away from us. Phil, do you need us
Yeah. to? Yes, we are 2 hours apart.
Okay.
Yes, I'm using the central time.
Oh, okay. So you're like at 9 o'clock there?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Elaine was saying it was late for you. It's 9 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
okay, so I pulled it up. So I'm going to share screen now,
Okay.
and hopefully it'll. I think this is it. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm learning something.
Nice.
Yes, Christina has been more than helpful. All right, I did 2 of those 2014 studies, all those different studies that Elder Tess mentioned that happened in 2014. And one is Uyghurs, and the other one is misogynistic incel. And so tonight, see, it's 7:20, so I'll present. This is a short one. It's the Uyghurs, and we'll have a discussion after, because this is only 2 pages long. So we'll discuss this one and then see how far we get. So Uyghurs is the Beijing targets ethnic Han Chinese. Okay, China has targeted the ethnic Han Chinese, the Uyghurs. In the eyes of Beijing, they see themselves as the master race to rule over the minorities, the Muslim Uyghur. The state has sought to prevent births, including by using extreme measures such as forced sterilization. Its treatment of Uyghurs not as citizens, but rather a problem to be dealt with, has led to the establishment of hundreds of re-education camps that experts say constitute the largest detention of ethnic and religious minorities since World War II. The legislatures of several democracies have called what's happening genocide. So we have to remember, as I'm reading this and as we're reading this together, we also have to realize that China is a very secret society. So it's not like we have a whole lot of information, but as we read on, the information that we do have is people who have actually escaped. So these are the stories of people who have, from the people who have escaped from these camps, the Uyghur minorities. And of course, China denies, China denies all this. So we have to keep it in mind.
So China, looking at the second sentence, so China or Beijing sees the Uyghur, is that how you say that, Uyghur?
Yeah, Uyghur.
As, let's see, Beijing sees themselves, China, as the master race over the Uyghurs. Okay.
Yes. Overall, the minorities, but particularly the Muslim Uyghurs.
Okay.
So who are the Uyghurs? They are a Turkic ethnic group originating from a cultural affiliated with the general region of Central and East Asia. The Uyghurs are recognized as native to the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region in northwest China. I should have put a map in here, but this now Xinjiang province in northwest China is actually connected to China. So it's in the northwest. It's a if you look at China, China is a big country, and the Xinjiang province is also fairly large. So in comparison, if you know how large Ukraine is to Russia, I mean, Russia is big, but Ukraine is also one of the big ones. That's about how the Xinjiang province is to the whole of China. They're pretty big. So the Uyghurs are the largest minority ethnic group in China's northwestern province of Xinjiang. There are about 12 million Uyghurs, mostly Muslims, living in Xinjiang. The Uyghurs speak their own language, which is similar to Turkish. So I posted all here where I got the information. So several countries, including US, Canada, and the Netherlands, have accused China of committing genocide. Genocide is defined by international convention as the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, it's supposed to be racial or religious group. The declarations follow reports that, as well as interning Uyghurs in camps, and they do have actually aerial views of these camps. Of course, China denying that's there. China has been forcibly mass sterilizing Uyghur women. And I just want to emphasize that most of the atrocity is done to women. mass sterilization Uyghur women to suppress the population, separating children from their families and attempting to break the cultural traditions of the group.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because if you're wanting to stop them from producing and wipe them out, why not the men?
Yeah, it's done to the women. So, you know, not only do the Chinese, the government want to get rid of the Uyghurs, they do that through the women. So again, it's
Can't take away their manhood from them and their masculinity and all that. Their
yeah.
power.
So it's also, you know, so it's against the women. So it's also very sexist.
Yeah. Another
The
taking it out.
UN Human Rights Committee in 2018 said that it had credible reports that China was holding up to 1 million people in what they call counter-extreme centers in Xinjiang. The Australian Strategic Policy Institute found evidence in 2020 of more than 380 of these so-called re-education camps in Xinjiang. Satellites have gathered images showing the rapid construction of camps in Xinjiang. So next two will be the reports by BBC News. So women in China's re-education camps for Uyghurs have been systematically raped, sexually abused, and tortured. According to detailed new accounts obtained by the BBC. So here's one of the ladies that was detained and raped, and she escaped.
Again, it's interesting. It's sad and horrible that they sterilized the women. So now they can just have their way with them and still wipe out their population.
Yes. Tursunai Ziawuddin spent 9 months inside China's network of internment camps in the Xinjiang region. She fled Xinjiang after her release and is now in the US. She reported that women were removed from the cells every night and raped by one or more masked Chinese men. She said she was tortured and later gang raped on 3 occasions, each time by 2 or 3 men. Several former detainees and a guard have told the BBC they experienced or saw evidence of an organized system of mass rape, sexual abuse, and torture. The BBC also interviewed a Kazakh woman from Xinjiang who was detained for 18 months in the camp system, who said she was forced to strip Uyghur women naked and handcuff them before leaving them alone with Chinese men. Some Chinese men were either from the outside or they would be policemen. She would sit silently next to the door, and when the men were done, she would take the women for a shower and clean the rooms. The Chinese men would pay money to have their pick of the prettiest young inmates, she said. Asked if there was a system of organized rape, she said, yes, rape. The government of China has been committing ongoing human rights abuses, cleansing of ethnic and religious minorities in Xinjiang, mostly violations against the Uyghurs. These human rights violations by the Chinese government are being looked as genocide. Since 2014, the Chinese government under Xi Jinping has pursued policies that incarcerated more than an estimated 1 million Muslims, majority of them being the Uyghurs, in internment camps without any legal process. Thousands of mosques have been destroyed or damaged, and hundreds of thousands of children have been forcibly separated from their parents and sent to boarding schools. Government policies have included the arbitrary detention of Uyghurs in state-sponsored internment camps, forced labor, suppression of Uyghur religious practices, political indoctrination, severe ill treatment, forced sterilization, forced contraception and forced abortion. Chinese government statistics reported that from 2015 to 2018, birth rates in the mostly Uyghur regions of Khotan and Kashgar fell by more than 60%, while the birth rate of the whole country fell by only 9.69%. Other attacks that have been committed against the Uyghurs are rapes, brainwashing, and tortures. And so this is the end of this report. And like I said earlier, there's more. There's more atrocities that I refuse to put in here. It was just so bad. So if you think that this is bad, it's worse. So
placing this issue at 2014 puts you at crimes against humanity and inequality, right?
yes. Yeah, so if this is, I didn't put any discussion points here, but on my next report, which is incels, I put discussion points there. But 2014 was a Sunday law, and other tests that we should know all that has happened in 2014, and this is part of it. And when we get to the incels, we'll see more atrocities. And if that's any indication of some of the things that is going to happen in the Sunday law,
So it means it's just going to be on a grander scale. We see it happening, what's coming. We can see what's coming in the United States to some extent, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade that they're steadfast and determined to do. And in all the hate laws that have been set up against LGBT.
Yeah.
And didn't in China, haven't they kind of turned the people against the Uyghurs? So is that the Hans, H-A-N-S, the Hans, the majority turn in the Uyghurs for anything,
So the Hans have been brought into that Xinjiang region, I think for that specific purpose. And there is a mass,
Stop.
what do you call that? When you have videos and cameras, surveillance, thank you. Yes, so there's a mass surveillance in that region to incriminate the Uyghurs. And the Uyghurs have no rights, basically. And so there is no due process. There is no legal process for them. So if the government says, whatever they're accused of, they're taken. And they don't even have to be accused of anything. Basically, they can just say, we're taking you to a place to re-educate you, to induct, and it's basically it's an indoctrination camp. It's a brainwashing camp, to make them forget. The children are separated from the parents, and there's children are put into again, they're indoctrinated boarding schools, and then the parents, they don't say much about what happens to men. It's all about women. So not only is there atrocity against humanity, it's specifically against women.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to wipe out the population, they could sterilize both, at least to be in fairness. Not that they should do any of it, but it's just sexist that they do it to the women and not the men, and then they go and still have their way with the women.
Yeah.
Go still back to
Phil,
Yes. Yes.
did you, it's just curious to me that other Muslim countries don't, I mean, they're sharing the same faith with these Muslims in China, but they just are silent.
Well,
You'd think that you would hear more protests about this from other Muslims.
well, again, we have, when I say we, the United States, the West, have the most sophisticated surveillance system also. We have satellites. The other countries don't have any technology. They probably don't, because China, first thing, China's denying it. And it's only because we have people escape to our country, we even have this information, or the satellites that our government have pick up on these things to corroborate their stories. And also we have private satellites also that are up in the air that are also corroborating the stories of these people. Whereas the other Muslim country, I mean, let's take Afghanistan, for example. They have their own problems. Afghanistan, their people are starving. I mean, there's just mass starvation there. Yemen, Syria is having their own. They're not going to have time to, and they don't have the technology, nor the knowledge, nor the time to even look into this.
They
And so
don't
this is
even
where we
have the power to do anything, so, against China.
Yeah, so, we have this information because of the technology and people that escape here.
I thought I remembered something about this particular group of Muslims. I don't know if outcast was the word but there was, I thought there was something that distinguished them from other Muslims. And I might have that wrong, but I thought I remembered reading something about that. I don't know if that sounds familiar to anybody.
I didn't see that in the, I didn't see that. I didn't read that in the media broadcast, nor any of these.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I have it wrong. For some reason or other, that was sounding familiar, that there was like a video or something that I watched at some point in time, but maybe I got it wrong.
Well, the only thing I can think of is that they have a Turkish origin and they're not particularly Chinese.
Yeah. I thought I remembered that they were unwelcome elsewhere. I don't know, I'd have to try to backtrack to some videos that I watched on them. But yeah, it's the sexism and the male dominance is in this, and the atrocities against the women and children.
Yeah.
Like you said, it doesn't say much about the Uyghur men.
No, it doesn't.
Interesting. Well, that puts one of our 2014. Christine, you're kind of keeping, you kind of have that chart. Are you keeping track maybe? Or would you?
Babe, are they talking to me?
Yeah, since you have that chart that you put together with all of these studies, are you going to mark off what we've gone through?
I'm sorry. I lost my headphones and I can't seem to get my mic to work. I can talk, but I can't hear you.
Oh, but no big deal.
Oh, there, I got it. Okay, there he is. Okay, so tell me again, you want the document?
You have the document that you put all the articles on and who was doing what? I mean, would you mind, put a tick next to what was done?
Yes, I wrote down there that Phil did the
Okay.
one today.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, good. So let's close in prayer and then we'll stop the recording and then maybe just talk for a little bit afterwards. Christina, can we get you to pray? I like hearing you. We don't hear you very often. Are you there, Christina? Are you able to talk? Maybe not. Susan, would you like to close in prayer?
Okay. Loving God, thank you so much, Lord, for the time that you're allowing us to not only fellowship with one another, but to review and to try to understand all that we've learned. And thank you so much for Elaine's presentation and helping us on the lines tonight and everyone's input. And for Phil's presentation, Lord, the atrocities are so horrific, Lord. Please be with those people, Lord. I honestly don't even know how to pray for them, Lord. It's so awful. Thanks for everyone here this evening, Lord, and continue to be with us as we try to learn these lines of history, Lord, and remember them. Thank you, Lord, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.